What's up? This your man Dre back, coming to you again with another video. I'm not gonna lie, I had to take a little break, especially after Wakanda Forever, but I'm actually going to do a reaction to E-Man from E-Man's movie review and his conversation with Nate Moore. I haven't seen it, refused to see it until I did it with y'all. But the real question is, are you ready? This particular reaction video is because I wanted to listen to the interview, the second part of the interview with E-Man when he was talking to Nate Moore. The reason why I wanted to wait, first of all, I've been working to death. I've been working like 60 to 70 hours, like between 50 to 70 hours a week. No joke, overnight. I be tired, wore out. I mean, the holidays is coming up, so this is probably one of the last videos I'm gonna do until after the holiday is over with. So happy Thanksgiving to anybody who celebrate Thanksgiving or whatever. Just spend time with your family, you know what I mean? Do what you do. But again, what I'm doing right here is, I'm not gonna lie, I went to go see Wakanda Forever twice. I'm burnt out because there's no change. There's nothing gonna happen. And I'm just at that point where I'm just burnt out. You know what I mean? Watching the movie is draining. Not knowing that we getting this character T'Challa back because the actor died, so the character has to, you know, die with the actor. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Anybody else could be recast, but no, we're so enamored with, you know, deifying people that we buried a character who could have lived on in other media and could have lived on in this franchise, you know, because the actor died. Much respect to the actor, but to me it's asinine. But anyway, let's go ahead, let's get into this review. Let's see what he's talking about and let's kind of go from there.
Black Panther Wakanda Forever is now out, and many of you have probably already seen it. As you can see from the title of this video, this is now going to be part 2 of my interview with top Marvel Studios executive Nate Moore. In case you missed my previous interview, feel free to go check it out as I asked him directly how he felt about the Recast T'Challa petition and campaign that I launched, and more. If you're new here and you have no idea what I'm talking about,
and again, make sure to, there's going to be a link in the bio to the first interview with Nate Moore. Make sure to go and like and subscribe to E-Man's channel. You know, I've been following this for a minute. And again, I'm not going to lie, this is exhausting. To have your hopes and dreams crushed like that. Especially how important T'Challa is, especially me being on Twitter and finding a lot more people on Twitter who are like, yo, there's no strong male black representation within this Wakanda Forever, this Black Panther franchise, and they made it more about the mantle. Why should I even be there? It's not about T'Challa, it's about the mantle, which it shouldn't have been about the mantle. If you read E-Man's petition, he talks about it's not about the mantle, it's about T'Challa and how important T'Challa is to the franchise and for everything else that went on. But let me just make sure to go and like and subscribe to his channel, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to E-Man, but let's go.
Take a moment to go read the petition at change.org rather than just judging the hashtag on its own. Anyway, what you're about to hear in this interview is something that I have not heard reported anywhere else, at least not yet. One thing I wanted to know was whether or not the campaign or the social media conversation to recast T'Challa had any effect on the actual script. More notably, I wanted to know, did it affect that post-credit scene that we got at the end of the film? Now, we have heard from Ryan Coogler, the director, that the original script for Black Panther 2 was gonna focus on Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa and dig deeper into his character. But what Nate Moore is about to reveal about the original script to me, well, let's just say that it definitely had me feeling some kind of way. Take a listen.
So, with the whole campaign movement in mind, and given the
post-credit scene. Can you talk about like did the fan desire influence any of that, or talk about what does legacy mean given the ending of the
Yeah, look, the ending of the...
Okay, so before I let Namor go ahead and talk, if you don't know about the ending, spoiler alert, I'm about to tell you about it now. It's revealed that T'Challa has a son with Nakia. His name is Toussaint. He's from Haiti. He was born in Haiti, and he is T'Challa. His name is T'Challa also. A lot of people call him T'Challa Jr., but yeah, he's little T'Challa. And with that petition, one thing that I've been vocal about, if you watch my videos and been on my channel, I've been very vocal about we don't want a T'Challa Jr. because that was rumored, and I felt like that was a little dumb for the simple fact is that we never see a marriage between Nakia and T'Challa. In the comics, she goes by Malice, and she was a love interest of T'Challa, but she was also a nut bucket that was kind of just trying to come between him and Storm and have this love triangle, and she got pissed off at him and tried to kill him and try to make his life a living hell after that in the comics. So I know her character is Ryan Coogler completely reimagined a lot of the antagonists from the Black Panther mythos. So we see this in the movie. So let Nate, kind of explain this side.
The movie, ironically, at least the idea of that character that we introduced at the end was actually in the draft before he passed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I think it's, interestingly enough, the original version of this movie was T'Challa meeting this person for the first time and having to reconcile being a father.
Now, come to find out, I know E-Man broke this yesterday. I know New Rockstars talked about it. That in the original script, he was going to deal with being blipped for 5 years and coming out of the blip and finding out he got a baby. And I think this is where I have an issue with Ryan Coogler, and I can't think of the other writer of this franchise, but man, can we stop? How can I say this without... T'Challa is so much of the anti-stereotype that the reason why his wedding to Storm was so significant, even though it was nuts at points of time, is because you seen the ruler with a goddess. And since he was an anti-stereotype, there was, they got married, it was beautiful and all this and all of that, and they literally wrote this dude as a stereotype. And what I mean by that, I mean by the stereotype of, you giving this guy a seed that he wasn't married to or whatever, Oh Jesus! This is why this is heart wrenching, man. I don't get it. They don't get it. In my point of view, I want to look at T'Challa as being something totally different than just what we always see on television, man. Why couldn't that man get married and be the ruler and the queen? That have that queen, even if it's not Storm and it's Nakia, have that queen by him. Jesus Lord have mercy, boy. I'm not gonna lie, this is really bad with me. Even though I already know that part, still sits bad with me.
So it wasn't a reaction to anything. It was actually an idea that was about renewal already. It was about the notion that, in canon, obviously he was gone for 5 years. And he missed something. He missed this thing. There was this person out there he didn't know existed. And so we retained that because it is, in either version, it's about loss, but also the triumph that can come out of loss. And it didn't seem like we should take it out. Right. You know what I mean? Like, and it certainly, I think, is an interesting place to find Nakia.
For sure.
You know, so yeah, ironically, not a reaction to anything online. It was sort of a it was an idea that Ryan had a year before.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right, look, we have.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm really starting to think the real villains of the franchise is the creative team. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm taking this a little too much to heart because I'm sitting over here and I'm looking at, you know, my Black Panther #1 from this is Jack Kirby's run, you know, and I don't think these guys get it. I mean, it's their own version. What I can do is choose to watch it or not. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard now. Even more is hard to get behind this particular franchise. Now, again, I'm not against Marvel and what they're doing. These creative decisions are baffling to me based on the type of character this man was. In the comics written by, you know, Stan Lee to Reginald Hudlin to Christopher Priest to all these particular writers, man. So it's hard. I'm not gonna lie. This is hard, man. It's hard.
Wakanda.
Yep.
We have black women. We have new character.
Yep.
And we got mutants. So I gotta ask you. Now here's the thing. In the comics, black love is something so significant.
I'm glad
that
he is
I think
saying this.
resonated with the culture. And of course, that came with Storm and T'Challa. Is the theme of black love being portrayed on screen something that you guys think about? And when is Storm coming?
Those are two different questions.
I know.
Certainly, the theme of black love is important, and it was important in the first movie. If you think about it, with T'Challa and Nakia. And again, when we talk about the end of the movie, has a manifestation beyond their relationship. I think when is Storm coming is a whole different conversation. But no, look, we love the X-Men. I love the X-Men personally. It is now a matter of time. It's not a if, it's a when. But it's not going to be tomorrow. And you know, Namor is Marvel's first mutant, very, very publicly, and we wanted to honor that. And certainly, Tenoch was very excited to say those words, and I'm excited to hear them. So it is important of things to come, but people may have to be more patient than they want to be.
Wow. So, original script gonna focus more on T'Challa, but it was actually gonna have him meeting his son and dealing with the loss of time because keep in mind he was snapped away for 5 years. That I still don't know how to process that because I have to say, as a T'Challa fan, as a Chadwick Boseman fan, one of the things that I was looking so forward to was getting more of T'Challa. I mean, we know the Marvel formula, right? You know, if you have a lead character, you're going to get like a trilogy or whatever, so that we can build up on that character, learn more about them, and they can grow on it. Same way Tony Stark did, same way Captain America did, and so on. So now,
hey, if y'all not noticing, if y'all haven't noticed that a lot of the lead characters are coming up with kids. Hulk, only person that ain't came up with no kid is Captain America. But Hulk, Tony Stark, Thor, we took Gore the God Butcher. That's what I'm talking about. One day I'm gonna do a video about creative choices and the things that could go right, the things that could go wrong. But this has been a big theme so far. I'm noticing Black Widow couldn't have kids, so she's out of the question. Hawkeye had kids, you know what I'm saying? Ant-Man had a daughter, you know, but kids has been a big focal point on the MCU. I want to see what they're going to do with this. I know the Young Avengers is coming, you know, Wanda and her kid, we already went through that. But that's big. It's going to be big, but let E-Man finish.
Not only were we going to get more T'Challa, but like just getting more into his head, his psyche, just how this man operates. Because I'm telling you, as a comic reader, that was one of the main things that drew me to the character. There are so many things about the way he went about his business that I found to be so compelling. I mean, at this point now, unfortunately, we're never going to see certain things about T'Challa, right? Like, we're never going to see, how does Wakanda actually feel about the fact that he opened up the country? In the comics, that was always a huge tension between T'Challa trying to be progressive and the rest of the country kind of being like, hold on, bro, we didn't tell you to go do all of this.
And they exiled that man out of the country with the help of Shuri. That's why the character, now when I talk about Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and I talk about the character of Shuri and that whole dynamic with her and Killmonger, literally her attitude was like that in the comics. If we would have got more, if we would have got more of Shuri training early in the first film and doing some of the things that her comic book counterpart would have did, it wouldn't have been so jarring for other people to see her all of a sudden become the Black Panther and doing flips and kicks and whatever and all of that. So, you know, it would have been interesting to see her dynamic go against her brother so strongly because of his views. I would have loved to see that, but unfortunately we're not going to get that. So I guess we got to keep it in the comics.
You know, and that conflict was always something interesting. Or just the fact that he was always about Wakanda first. Like, oh my God. The fact that we're not getting that is something. But to find out that we're not going to get a T'Challa interacting with his son, like meeting his son for the first time, that kind of broke my heart. As a father, I can't tell you how much I love being able to see and how much I desire being able to see another positive portrayal of a Black father, because way too often we get the stereotype of absentee Black fathers or just not so good Black baby daddies. And I'm just sitting here like, my goodness, like we could have had something great. We could have had something where like this depiction could have been on screen. And it just would have been something I know would have melted my heart.
And as much as I don't agree with the bastard son trope, I do agree that seeing, you know, Black fathers, especially a one in that rank, would have been awesome to see. And I would have supported it, even though I'm like, you know, they didn't do it in the comics, so they didn't do it in the source material. I get it. And probably somebody would be like, you didn't do that in the source material. Why would they? I mean, he did in New Avengers. He had a son with Storm. I think it was Azari. But, you know, to see this, I do understand that. And as a father myself, I agree. You know, I went to go see this with my boys on the other day. So I agree with him on this one, 100%.
You know, just to see another Black father in a positive light. But unfortunately, you know, real life happened. They chose not to recast. So here we are. Now, the other thing to consider here is like, well, according to Nate Moore, they were always planning on having Prince T'Challa show up. So I guess that kind of sort of would have dampened certain people's plans or hopes or dashed their hopes of ever seeing a T'Challa and Storm and maybe Azuri, the son, because, well, if they were going to push this T'Challa Nakia son angle, then clearly there was going to be no room for a T'Challa and Storm relationship. So I don't even know if that's a good thing, if it's a bad thing. I mean, you guys let me know. Do you think that it would have been a good idea to continue with T'Challa and Nakia and their relationship? Or is it possible, because this is another alternative, right? Is it possible that now that we have a Prince T'Challa and he is growing up, you know, as a young boy, future king, this is kind of similar to the comics, because in the comics, T'Challa did lose his father at a young age, and he did have to grow up as a young boy king.
And if you guys go back and watch my video because I do the first I do Black Panther. I do Fantastic Four number 52 and 53 that actually talks about how Claw killed T'Chaka in the comics, and he was a young boy, and he had to do what he had to do to save his village and save that portion of Wakanda, and then he became as a younger man in his 20s. And I talked about this on, now that we have T'Challa Jr., we have Prince T'Challa, and I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do the T'Challa Jr. no more, because that's just, now that you kind of understand that it was going to do it anyway, let's call him Prince T'Challa. You got Prince T'Challa now. You got a young Prince T'Challa. You can have him grow up and do the parallel of what they did in the original Jack Kirby comics. I also am pushing him to get aged up. Maybe take him out of space and have him do some Star-Lord T'Challa stuff for a minute. Just have him go to some place where he can age up and then come back to Earth, because of the American government is trying to take over Wakanda and try to take over the resources, colonizers, and then have him come in as a younger man and come and save Wakanda. You know what I mean? And so that means you can still have Shuri, Auntie Shuri, and Prince T'Challa as two Black Panthers that's trying to save their home world. I mean, they're trying to save their land. So there's ways that you could do it. I may not agree with the creative decision of this movie, but there's room to be able to grow with this.
And, well, it does also open up the opportunity of this young Prince T'Challa. Maybe he meets a young Aurora Monroe. Maybe he meets a young Storm, depending on how Marvel wants to do, the whole thing with the X-Men.
I agree.
So that's a possibility that's now open. But if Marvel says that this was always in the plans, I guess we have to take their word for it. One other little bit of information, I believe Ryan Coogler also mentioned that Chadwick Boseman never actually got the chance to see the actual script. And I definitely encourage you to go listen to, there's a Marvel podcast, I believe it's on Spotify. It's hosted by Ta-Nehisi Coates, and he sat down with Ryan Coogler, and one thing that Ryan had said was that Chadwick never had the chance to actually read the script before he passed away. When Coogler did, contact him and let him know, like, hey, the script is done, do you want to check it out? Chad was basically like, nah, not right now. And, in hindsight, he was obviously too tired. So it's hard to say whether or not, this is something Chadwick was looking forward to or not. We'll never really know. But given what you do know now about the script, is this a script that you would have liked to see play out? And how do you feel about the fact that Marvel kind of sort of had this all planned out anyway? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And as of course, I threw in that little fun question about Storm.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of end it on this note. And to answer his question, now we never know, because we didn't get to see the execution of it. They were going to plan it anyway, so it would kind of damper my thoughts of them doing a story arc with Storm, because that is prominent and it is beautiful in the comics. The wedding of Black Panther and Storm, people should go get if you can get a physical copy of that, it's a beautiful cover. Beautiful cover of their wedding. So, what do you guys think about this? This is just my reaction. I'm not gonna lie, I've been heartbroken ever since I watched this movie, and knowing that they put so much emphasis on. I know it's honoring Chadwick. I get it. It's a hard one. It's a hard one because it's a lot of creative decisions that I don't agree with. Now, knowing that was going to be a part of the plans anyway, I guess, what can you do? It's just, now they have an opportunity with Prince T'Challa to make this thing golden, so it can get back on track. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. I'm gonna go lay down. I'm tired. And until next time, I'll holler at you guys later. Peace and Vampire.